Let us pass on to some examples. These examples have been taken from different children's textbooks. These are some of the textbooks that are used in one of the institutions in which we teach during the practicum stage. These are taken from the book Explorers and World Explorers. Now, let's have a look at the first task, the one on the left in the PowerPoint. Have a look at this task. It is a task that involves interaction. It is a task in which students can see 4 different pictures of 4 different rooms, and the task consists of asking and answering in a guessing game so as to find out what room our partner, our friend in the interaction, is trying to describe. So student A asks questions such as, where's the bin? And student B responds, it's under the table. Where's the lamp? It's on the bookcase, and so on. So that by the end, student A guesses what student B is describing. Now notice that in this particular task, students are using speaking only. They are looking at a picture and they are using language orally. So in the distinction between focused and unfocused, this would be an example of a focused task, because the kind of language that we expect students to produce is very clear. We expect them to use the structure. Where's the It's under, on, in, the So we are expecting this interactive routine in their speech. So this is the reason why it's focused. And it is also an output prompting task, because students have to speak, have to produce the language. Let us now turn to the other page and let's analyze lesson 3. The lesson starts with a listen activity, that is, listen. Which times do you hear? So students have to listen to an audio, they have to listen to a tape and tick the times that they can hear. So, in this particular case, once again, this is a focused task, because students will be focusing on a specific linguistic item, which is times. And it is an input providing task, because students have to listen and tick. Something similar happens with the second task. In the second task, students have to listen again and choose the best answer. In this particular case, they have a two-choice task in which students have to finish the sentences by ticking the correct option. Once again, students have to listen and tick. In this particular case, it's once again focused, because the task consists of focusing on specific places, and it is once again input providing. Now, what about 3? Have a look at 3. It says, look, listen and repeat. And notice that students are expected to listen, repeat certain parts of the dialogue in the audio, and by repeating, they are expected to focus on specific linguistic items. Notice that this is something that we're going to discuss in this lesson. We're going to discuss this in some minutes. But notice that this, that seems to be an exercise in order to repeat, in fact, is developed in a task perspective. Because students have to explore the grammar, they have to notice the regularity, and they have to draw the rule from this regularity. This leads us into a type of meaning and a type of gap that we are expecting in this task, which is different from the type of meaning and the type of gap that we expected in the previous tasks that we have just described. In fact, this is a meta-linguistic task that requires students to think about form, to reflect about the ways in which we use English, and to derive a rule. Unlike the exercise in which students have to provide the question for a specific answer, in this particular case, students' cognition is involved, and we are expecting students to explore language and be able to say the way in which grammar works. This is something we often do with older children, as from the ages of 10, 11, children start developing grammar exploration activities in the form of a task as this one, which require learners to explore the grammatical form of the items that they are learning. Now, if we look at 4, read and guess, so students have to listen for the end of the conversation that started in exercise 2. First, they have to guess what time they think the character was in a specific place, right? Then they have to listen and check if they were right. So in this particular case, students have to use their cognition. They have to derive information so as to be able to anticipate the answer that comes in the audio. And finally, 5 is similar to the task on the left of the slide. That is, it's a guessing game in pairs in which students have to guess what time each of the characters was in each of these 4 places. In all cases, we can see tasks of different kinds. Notice that the tasks on the right consist of input providing and then pass on to output prompting tasks once students have analyzed the grammatical item. They pass on from input providing to output prompting tasks. And in all cases, the teacher is working with focused tasks. That is, the teacher is focusing on specific grammatical items and specific lexes.